morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm greeting you. I hope all of you are doing well. I hope you are fine. I'm back again without wasting much of your time. I told you this particular episode is some kind of sensitive, and I'm trying to draw your attention on something. I'm not, it's not anything. I'm just giving you a clue about this Israelite, Palestinian, whatever problem and all these things. And the reason why I'm doing this is that the way people behave as if their religion encompasses them, their religion intrigues them that they should support one of these people. Meanwhile, you are here and your troubles are more than any other thing. And then also, you should also think about it. What exactly is wrong about the Jews? What is the problem with the Jewish race? That people are trying to be like they are the enemies. Everybody wants to go upon them, especially to these two religions, Christianity and Islam. This is the reality. Christianity and Islam see Judaism or Jews to be problematic. What exactly is happening? That is why you see Iran coming in seriously. What happened before Iran tried to react and then send this missile? It's like Iran was already waiting because, you know, the Shia Islam has its headquarters from Iran, and all the Shias dedicate every last Friday of fasting, last Friday of every Ramadan for Palestinians. Ask all the Shias, they will tell you, all the Shias of the world dedicate the last Friday of Ramadan to Palestinians. So most of Shia scholars in Shia mosque, if you are in a mosque on the last Friday of Ramadan and you see an imam preaching about Palestinian or Israeli Palestinian fight, he has Shia background or he has Shia ideology. Even though some of the imams decide to do the same, but most of the people who have this idea is the Shia. So you can see how religion is playing this game. So let me take, without wasting much of your time, let me take you back to the treatise of Almighty Reformer Martin Luther. Don't forget, I told you, immediately he wrote this treatise. 3 years after writing this treatise, Martin Luther died. And this treatise that he wrote and died after writing it has caused a serious havoc in the life of the Jews after his death. You will see all. Now, I've mentioned two of the suggestions he gave. All the two suggestions is about hatred, enmity, bitterness, destroy, kill them, finish their everything, make them captives. That is it. Now, let's continue. Now, thirdly, they should be deprived of their prayer books. Listen, they should be deprived from their prayer books. They should be deprived from their prayer book. It is not that they should be deprived from the prayer books of Christians. Maybe if it is your prayer book that has been given to them and you don't want them to use it again, we understand. You take it from them, we understand. But this one, it is their own prayer books. You want to take it from them? Is it not enough you want them killed? Is it not enough that you want their root to be uprooted? Is it not enough that you want to eradicate their root? Now you want to take their prayer books away from them. So, thirdly, they should be deprived of their prayer books and Talmuds, in which such idolatry, lies, cursing, and blasphemy are taught. Listen, they should be deprived from their prayer books. Why? And the prayer books, he became specific about one, the Talmuds. The Talmud. The Talmud is the interpretations and the commentaries of the mother book, the Tanakh. The rabbis' explanations and the wisdoms the rabbis put together when they interpreted the Tanakh and the Torah and all that is being put in the Talmud. Now, Martin Luther said they should take the Talmud from their hand, and also their prayer books should be taken from their hand. Why? Because in their prayer books, there is what? One, there is idolatry. There is idolatry in their prayer books. Now, how come Martin Luther got to know that in their prayer books there is idolatry? How did he know that? Because the concept of one God, the concept of a religion having only one God is coming from Judaism. Now, the people that brought the concept of one God transfer it and transmitted it to Christianity, transmitted it to Islam, are now being said here that in their prayer book there is idolatry, lies, and also in their books, in their prayer books, there is also lies. What is happening? In the prayer books of Jews, there is lies. Meanwhile, Jesus Christ is a Jew. Apostle Paul was a Jew. What is happening here? So he says there is idolatry in there, and there is lies, and also there is cursing in that book. Idolatry is in their prayer books, in the Jews' prayer book. According to Martin Luther, there is idolatry in their prayer books. There is lies in their prayer book. There is curses in their prayer book, and there is blasphemy in their prayer book. And these books are what they are using in their synagogues and their houses, and they are teaching their children and their next generation all those things. So they should be deprived from their prayer books. Their prayer books should be taken from them. Let's continue. So this is the third suggestion that Martin Luther is talking about. Now, fourth suggestion. He says, they are rabbis, they are teachers, they are scholars, they are wise ones, they are rabbis. Their rabbis must be forbidden under threats of death to teach anymore. Now, their rabbis, their teachers should be put in under threat. Their teachers should be told that if they don't know and they teach their books of prayers again, if they don't know and they teach the Talmud again, if they don't know and they teach anything about Judaism again, they will be killed. So they should threaten their rabbis with death so that they will stop teaching. This is the suggestions of Martin Luther about the Jews. I hope you are following me. You will get the point. I am trying to make a point here. And then he says, to sum up, now it's about Martin Luther is ending his treatise. To sum up, dear princes and nobles who have Jews in your domains. Now he's calling princes and nobles of Christians in the Europe who has Jews in their domains, who are living with Jews in their houses. This is what he's saying. If this advice of mine does not suit you, what all the suggestions I gave you in this treatise does not suit you, does not go on well with you, does not sound okay with you, then find a better one so that you and we may all be free of this insufferable, devilish burden, the Jews. So, according to Martin Luther, if the suggestion he brought is not okay, if the suggestion he gave about the Jews is not okay, then the nobles and princes of the European countries which have Jews in their domain should bring another thing so that they will be free from the devilish burden. Now, Martin Luther sees Jews as devilish burden. They are not only a burden, they are devilish burden. The question again, what exactly is the problem with the Jews that everybody seems to be And now everybody see them to be a threat. What is the problem? Is this question not important? Okay, so this is it. And then he says, next to the devil. He said the Jewish are the next to the devil. Like seriously. Which kind of hatred is this? Next to the devil. A Christian has no more bitter and galling foe than the Jew. According to Martin Luther, Christians don't have any enemy, foe, enemy who are more than Jews. Jews are second level to the devil, according to Martin Luther. And the number one enemies of Christians are Jews, not Muslims. You see, let me tell you one thing. Martin Luther, who is a Christian reformer, who is a Christian theology reformer, a Christian religious reformer, is saying they are number one. The Christians' number one enemy is Jews. The same thing in Islam. In the Quran says Christians are more friendly to Muslims than Jews. In other words, Quran says that the friends of Christians are Muslims, or Muslims are friends to Christians. But the most dangerous enemies of Islam is Jews. Here comes my question again. What exactly is about this race, the Jewish race, that these two religions see them to be enemies? Now, this war that you are seeing today, this war that is not finishing, this war that is not ending, and it looks like the war is not going to end, is about these two religions. It's about how these two religions view Jews. It's about how Christians see Jews to be devils. Christians see Jews to be their number one enemies. Just like the way Muslims see Jews to be number one enemies. The question still remains, what exactly is between these three Abrahamic religious people that the two, Christians and Muslims, are uniting in the enmity of the Jews? Now, the common enemy to Muslims and the common enemy to Christians. Christians and Muslims have common enemy, and their common enemy is Jews. Why? The idea of the religion of these two religions, the divine idea, the one God idea of Christianity and Islam is coming from Judaism. Yet now, Christians and Muslims are saying Jews are their number one enemy, common enemy. What is happening? It's like there's a secret. It's like the Jews are having something. There is something in the hands of the Jews. There's a secret the Jews know that they don't want to reveal that secret, and someone feels like it's a threat. This is how I'm seeing it. Now, I've read the treatise of Martin Luther for you about these people, about how Christians, according to Martin Luther, should see and must see and treat the Jews. Now, you know that this treaty, even though the author or the writer of this treaty, Martin Luther, died 3 years after he wrote this, 500 years later, one great personality of the world, who is one of the notorious people, was inspired by this treatise. Do you know that? Adolf Hitler was inspired by this treatise of Martin Luther 500 years after Martin Luther wrote it. You see the danger? You see the danger? 500 years after Martin Luther wrote this treatise, Adolf Hitler was inspired by this treatise And that is the result of the Holocaust. And Jews suffered in the hands of Adolf Hitler. What is happening? Why always these people? Why always Jews? Why always Christians and Muslims are after Jews? What exactly did the Jews do to deserve this? What is the secret? What is happening between these three people? Okay. Now, I dug deeper and I realized something. That whatever Martin Luther has wrote in that treatise, he was not the only person. He was not the only person who shared the idea, who has that type of idea. There is some kind of similarity between what Martin Luther said and some other people. Now I start to check the religious background. I did the historical readings and all that. I'm done with all the secret between these three Abrahamic religions. But the main thing is there. This is not about the main thing. I'm just trying to draw your attention to something. If you are someone that like to ask questions, if you are someone that like to dig deeper to understand certain things, you will like this topic very well. You will like this episode very well. Especially at this moment where their war is about to take the international conflict level. We are hoping that Mother of the Universe should intervene so that it shouldn't get to that level. Now look at this. I noticed that Apostle Paul, in one of his letters to the people of Romans chapter 11, he said something about Jews and he was giving a warning. It was a warning. What he was saying is about his warning. He was warning the Gentile Christians, Christians that are not Jews, Christians that have nothing to do with Christians that are not Israelites, the Gentile Christians. Paul was warning them about Jews. And the warning in Romans chapter 11 that Paul was giving is like, is some kind of, the Gentile Christians should respect the Jews, the Israelites, even if the Israelite is non-believer. Go check it out. I don't want to break these things into details. There's an issue. There is something hidden which we know, which we've seen it. But today is not the day for that. But I'm just drawing your attention. Paul in Romans chapter 11 warned the Gentile Christians about the Jews and even the non-believers. This happened, and I compare and contrast what Paul wrote in chapter 11 of the book of Romans, and then compare it with what Martin Luther wrote and suggested in his treatise that it should be done to the Jews, and I start to put some dots together and I start to draw my bottom lines. That is one. I read further in the Bible and I got to know that Jesus Christ himself, the character Jesus Christ himself, has also warned about this same Jewish people. Another warning. And the warning of Jesus Christ is somewhere in the book of Matthew about these Jewish people again. And the warning that Jesus Christ gave about these Jewish people in the book of Matthew is similar to the warning Apostle Paul was giving to the Romans in the book of Romans chapter 11. So, as I said, Obi Kebibi, it's like someone is trying to say that these people have something. These people have some kind of secret. So they should not be there with, they should not be tempted with. Like that is how it looks. If you read and read more, this is how it looks. Now I continue to read, and to my surprise, I realized that John the Baptist also warned about the Jews. And the warning of John the Baptist and the warning of Jesus Christ is almost the same thing. Someone is speaking about the cutting of a tree branch and using it as firewood. The same thing Jesus Christ mentioned. John the Baptist also mentioned similar thing of cutting of a tree and using it as a firewood. This similarity, and it is about the Jews. And then the book of Apostle Paul in Romans chapter 11 about a warning about these Jews. So this continue to give me the curiosity to dig more. I dug and went back down to history, and I saw a whole lot. One day I'll share it with you. But what I'm doing today is I'm saying that ask these questions. Why is it that Christianity and Islam seem to have problem with Judaism? Some Christians are just like what Martin Luther is saying, has no enemy more than the Jews. According to them, Jews are the second in command of the devil. According to the Quran, Jews are the number one enemy of Muslims. What is happening? And now, look at this. In the Quran, Jewish people are seen as special people. They are very unique. In the Quran, apart from the verse in the Quran that is saying that they are the number one enemies of Muslims, the same Quran is also giving them a status that Quran has never given to anybody, including Islam. Quran has never given that status Quran gave the Jews, including Islam. Islam never enjoyed that status that Quran gave to Judaism or to the Jews or to the children of Israel. The level in which the children of Israel, the uniqueness and the respect that Quran accorded to the children of Israel, the tribe of Prophet Muhammad himself, the Quraysh tribe, Prophet Muhammad, his family has never acquired that respect in the Quran. Now let me give you two verses in Quran chapter number 2. Now listen to this. In the whole Quran, the word children of Israel has appeared in the whole Quran 43 times. 43 times. 43 times. And the word children of Israel, Israel ma, eba Quran, 43 times. This is huge. This is huge. These people are seen to be, according to the same Quran, these people are the number one enemies of Muslims. But these people are mentioned in the same Quran, which says they are the enemies of Muslims, number one enemies of Muslims. This same Quran is mentioned them 43 times. Now, out of the 43, let me read 2. And that 2 will be coming from Quran chapter number 2. In Quran chapter number 2 alone, the children of Israel has been mentioned in the Quran chapter number 2 alone almost 6 times. In Quran chapter number 2. Now I'm going to read 2 out of the 6 for you. Quran chapter number 2 verse 40. This is what Allah, the word in the Quran, is saying. Ya Bani Israel, O you the children of Israel, Udhkuru, call to the mind, Ne'mati allati an'amtu alaykum, my favors that I have bestowed upon you. Call to the mind, call to your mind. It's another way of saying remember. keep in mind the favor that I've bestowed upon you, O children of Israel. Wa'awfu bi'ahdi, and fulfill your covenant with me. Ufi bi'ahdikum, and I will fulfill your covenant for you. Wa iyaya farhabun, and fear none but me. Quran chapter number 2 verse 40. They have been favored and they have covenant between them and Allah, the God of the Quran. Now that Muslims hate them that much, is the covenant between the children of Israel and Allah, the God in the Quran, broken? Question number 1. Now let me take you to the last verse of Quran chapter number 2. I told you I'll only mention 2 of the verses. Now let me take you to Quran chapter number 47. Listen to what the verse is saying. Ya Bani Israel, O you the children of Israel, Uzukuru, call to the mind, remember, keep in the mind, Ni'mati allati an'amtu alaykum, my favors, my favor that I've bestowed upon you, wa anni faddaltukum ala al-alamin, and I have prepared you upon all the world, and I have chosen you upon all the world, and I have made you unique upon all the world. Faddaltukum, I have preferred you, I've made you over, I have chosen you over Alami, not Arabs alone. I've chosen you over the entire world. This is what the Allah of the Quran, the God in the Quran, this is what he's saying about the Jews. They should remember the favor he has bestowed upon them, and that he has made them unique. He has preferred them. He has preferred them for Dontuku. I have preferred you over any other person. You are the preferred one to me. You are my humble ones. You are my bonsum ones, children of Israel. This is what Quran is saying about them, and the same Quran is saying that they are number 1 enemies of Islam. What is happening? Now, look at the whole thing. The enmity and the hatred that Martin Luther has depicted and exhibited in his book about the Jews. And then the warning of Apostle Paul in the book of Romans about the Jews. Jesus Christ warning people about the Jews. John the Baptist warning people about the same race, and then Quran saying they are the enemies, but at the same time Quran says they have covenant with Allah, the God of the Quran, and the God of the Quran has chosen them, preferred them over any other race. And yet this is the only race that everybody in the world, 70% of the world, is standing against, wanting to crush them. What is happening? What is the secret? And why should Europeans spend over 1,000 years debating about how to treat the Jewish race? How could human beings debate upon how to treat another human being? What is the secret? I'm just drawing your attention to something. I haven't said anything yet. There is something, there's a secret. The people are holding something that is like, that thing is a threat. They have something that other people think that thing is a threat. Especially these 2 religions, Christianity and Islam. It's like these 2 religions and all the countries that are related to these 2 religions are thinking of, are having restless and sleepless night because of this particular thing these people are holding. There is something with the Jews that is making these two group of people coming after them all the time. Now, before I close, I want to say this. As for the geographical confusion between the Palestinians and the Israelites, the people who has the solution are the British. Britain knows every details of how the whole problem of Palestinian or Israeli-Palestinian problem started. British has the answers. British has everything. They have the secret. Because the whole thing took place after First and the Second World War. In fact, the name Palestinian was given to that land by the British. And the land that is lying between the Mediterranean Sea and the River Jordan was named as Transjordan land by the British. Geographical problem of Israeli-Palestinian, the people who has the secret and they know what it really is, they know the beginning and they know the end, is the British. I will not say much. This is enough. I've drawn your attention. Go check these quotations I've mentioned. This book is one of the special books that I've toiled much to get. And I bought the book from one guy, and the guy, there was so many conversations before I got the book. And this book is not easy to be found today. It's not outside there. You maybe PDF, one can get it and download it. But to get a hard copy like this, it's not easy to get because I tried and I asked him and he says, I bet you can't get it again. Actually, this one, he sold it for me. This is his own one, his personal one that he sold for me. And the reason why he sold the book for me is about a particular debate and discussion that went on between myself and him. And it feels like and he rewarded me. He thinks I won the debate and he rewarded me with this book. And I really, really love the book. And the book's title is When a Jew Rules the World. When a Jew rules the world. There's a lot here. And there are other books we read about this thing. We have a lot to tell you. We'll meet again. Thank you very much. This is the cover. Check it out. Until we meet again, I say to you, bye-bye. Share and comment.